Hey, welcome back. My name is Valerie Martinez. I work in customer success and operations. I want to share some insights with you. Today, I'm diving into Reddit to do a customer success audit on some various things that people post and see what we can suggest to get back to a successful mode with each of our clients. This is how do you actually deal with customers asking the same questions constantly? And I really liked this thread because it's talking about how to solve that problem and proactive ways to go around it versus just being stressed by the problem itself. So we'll get into it in a little bit. Hang in there. It says we're building something in the customer experience space and honestly just trying to learn from people who deal with this stuff every day. Seems like no matter how good your help docs are, customers still ask the same 5 to 10 questions over and over again. It's true. What actually worked for you? What have you actually tried that made a difference? And how do you automate without annoying people who just want a real answer? These people are saying voice AI agent business. I really think that people want to talk to a real person when they have a problem. Then this next person says, in my experience, the repeats usually mean the answer exists, but not at the moment the customer needs it. So it's talking about wherever their friction point is, where they start to have a problem, the answer is not there. It's somewhere else. They have to go hunt. And the hunt equals frustration or not being able to locate the answer. It says docs alone do not change the behavior. They're detached from the workflow. That usually breaks the context. Customers ask the same questions because something is unclear earlier or because the system allowed them to get stuck without explanation. What helps is intercepting these moments with simple, predictable guidance and making sure agents see why the question keeps coming up. Automation works best when it removes ambiguity, not when it just deflects volume to somewhere else. And this says the answer existing somewhere versus being there when someone is stuck is the actual problem. We're trying to figure out how to catch those moments in real time so people get help right where they need it, not after they've given up. Good framing on removing ambiguity is deflecting volume too. So down here, there was a really good response, and it said, what I've seen most often is that repeat questions aren't really about missing answers. They're about missing context. So the answer is not contextually where the question arises. It might be in a repository or an FAQ, but it's not where they're actually having an issue. It says something earlier in the journey was unclear. The system let them get into a confusing state. So maybe there was too many layers where they're not sure if they finished what they're doing or not, or they're not sure why it's working. Maybe there's a hidden menu that they need to complete before the process is done. Things like that. It says things I've worked with: map where the questions originate, push answers into the flow, not into docs, inline hints, order timelines, what happens next messages, and confirmation screens reduce tickets and questions more than bots ever did. It says use automation to clarify, not deflect. Automated messages that explain that something's happening, like payment pending because, or things like next update will arrive at, or in a certain period of time, you give a window, tend to calm people down. Bots just say, read this article, is really not something that calms people down. It's very true. It's kind of like being stuck on the phone and you keep pushing buttons trying to talk to a real person and it just wants to send you through the automation tree and you're not getting the answer you need. You're not being able to derive the value you need out of support. So the key is avoiding people needing to talk to a real person to get support by giving the hints, clues, and breadcrumbs they need to get through the process successfully independently. That is a successful customer experience in working with a platform, and this creates customer success and then being able to get what they want from you easily and effectively. If you're creating too much friction or confusion through that process, you're going to increase tickets, you're going to increase needs for support, and all those cost money and make more problems for your end customer than just making sure that it runs really smoothly. So you're only answering the odd questions. So I loved this person's couple inputs here. I completely agree. I definitely wouldn't recommend AI to automate your high-level concerns. It's one thing to help with the general questions on like a chat and then be referred to an agent. But if you don't have a real person available, eventually when people have exhausted the other avenues, it tends to be a problem. So I wouldn't recommend that as a be all end all. It's a good component, but it's not the answer either. Focusing on decreasing those tickets and concerns and actually being able to explain something within the process so it's super clear, easy, that's the best for the company that's providing the service or the person providing the service, as well as it is for your client. You're building trust and ease and removing friction for them to get done what they want to do. So more customer success audits and digging into solutions or reasons for success, and we'll talk soon.